Good afternoon, everyone. This is September 26th, Tuesday, 2023, and we are in our second semester's Creative Nonfiction class. And this is the fourth class we are having this semester. We have had 3 classes. In the first class, we got introduced to the subject. In the second class, we started talking about the essay Coming Home Again. In the third class, we read the essay line by line, but we ran through the essay very fast. And we skipped many paragraphs. I understand it might have been difficult for you, but if it was difficult, well, there's one option. I have a series of videos on my channel where I explain everything in detail from home. If you have time, if you see that video, that might be slightly helpful. In our classroom structure, sometimes I have difficulty covering everything in given time. And today, we are starting the second essay, The Night Owl. Let me first write. How do you spell the word owl? Am I correct?
Yes.
Thought I was wrong. I've become so forgetful these days, I forget simple things. Okay, who is the author?
Anne Fadiman.
How do you spell her first name? A-N-N-E.
Fadiman.
It may be any Fadiman or it may be Anne Fadiman, I'm not sure, but I pronounce Anne Fadiman. I haven't checked. I may be right, I may be wrong. Now, one thing you can do is that, suppose this is a paper, and in a big paper, make a vertical column, and then write the title of all essays here. Write the title of all essays, right? And then make column this way, row and column. And here write rhetorical strategies or rhetorical analysis. Write analysis. And here write actual rhetor, implied rhetor. Write all the elements this side, write the elements of analysis this side, write the essays this side, and as I teach essays every day, every week, in the big sheet, go on listing. And when the course is over, you will have the summary of the whole course in single page. And in the exam, you can have a quick look and go. So today, as what I'll do, I taught you Coming Home Again last time. Now today I'll talk about night owl. So as I talk about night owl, on every heading I'll compare both essays. I will tell you the same thing in the previous essay, and I will tell you the same thing in the current essay. And we'll compare, and we will see what rhetorical strategies Chang Rae Lee uses, and what rhetorical strategies Fadiman uses. And why do they use different strategies and what they try to achieve. That way, you will have better idea about the whole essays as we move ahead, okay? So, if you can see in my laptop, for example, while I was preparing for your class last night and this morning, I made a kind of template. I'm trying to develop a sort of system where you can use to analyze essays. So let's write it here, or let's say actual rhetor. So let's start the lesson. So I might ask her, she might ask me, you might ask me, I might ask you, let's interact. So who is actual rhetor?
Ourselves.
The person outside the text.
Author.
Author. With the flesh and bone. Author with the flesh and bone, right?
Yes.
So in the first essay, the actual rhetor is
Chang Rae Lee.
Chang Rae Lee. In the second essay, actual rhetor is
Anne Fadiman.
either say any Fadiman or say Anne Fadiman. Don't say, you were mispronouncing earlier. I forgot what you said. I pronounce Anne Fadiman. I haven't checked. I will check this afternoon in YouTube what is the actual pronunciation. Because these are foreign names and many times we are not aware. Okay, now ask a question. Implied rhetor. In the first essay, the rhetor that the text creates is the sun. Right? In the second essay, who is speaking? A wife, let's say. Let's say, okay. See, I don't think she anywhere says, I'm a wife. She says, my husband, right? So we infer that she's wife. But I don't think it's a good idea to call someone's wife. Why should we know Fadiman as someone's wife? She has her own identity, right? As an author. So this is, okay, son. Let me write wife, okay. So the relation in which the rhetor puts herself in the second essay is that of wife. No doubt, wife. Okay, then we have speaker. So in first text, the son is the speaker. In the second text, the wife is the speaker, okay. Speech. So in the first text, the speech is about mother's sickness, right? What is the speech about in the second text?
Sleeping and waking habit or nature of a person.
Okay, sleeping and waking habits of? Okay, circadian something, I don't know the word.
Mechanism.
What is the word?
Circadian mechanism.
What does circadian mean?
Physical, mental, and behavioral changes.
What is circadian? Circadian means related to the cycle of nature. For example, the sun revolves around the earth and we have the day and night. That is circadian rhythm. What tells you it's time to eat? You never set an alarm clock to remind you to eat. And when it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you feel hungry. What tells you? The circadian rhythm tells you. Why around 9 o'clock, if you do my homework, you don't like my homework because you feel sleepy? The circadian clock tells you it's time to sleep. There is something like a biological clock in the body. How do you know it's time to pee? The clock tells. How do you know it's time to drink and eat? The clock tells. The body has a clock that is in sync with the nature. That's why when the sun sets and you don't have a mobile phone, if you have no mobile phone, no electricity, and if the sun sets, you fall asleep. The clock tells it's time to sleep. But if you turn on the mobile phone, the mind is cheated. And the mind mistakenly thinks it's not evening yet. And you don't sleep. So when you use mobile phone, you are disturbing your circadian clock. Right? Circadian clock. Okay, very important word you said. Okay, so the second essay, the speech is, okay, sleeping habit of, let's say, men and women. Am I correct? So when I put a question, first she will try to answer, then he will try to answer, okay? If I put a question, she will try. If she knows, she will answer. If not, he will answer. If nobody knows, I'll answer. Okay? Speech. So it's about sleeping and waking habit of men and women. Then addressee. Who is the addressee? Chang Rae Lee was writing to all sons of the world, or he was writing to readers of the New Yorker. He was writing to the readers of the New Yorker. And he was writing to us, the real readers, right? Addressee. Now here, who is Anne Fadiman's audience, addressee?
Her husband and
Okay, let's say, okay. You think that somewhere she is addressing to her husband. Really?
land.
Does anywhere you have indication that she is talking to her husband? I don't know. See, in this class, I'm ignorant, you are learned, and you are teaching me, right? I don't know. I'm asking you. Okay, you said husband. We'll check. Who else do you think is the addressee in the essay besides husband?
Early risers.
Yeah?
Early risers.
Early rising? My question is, a woman is speaking in that essay about the habits of sleeping and waking up. So, to whom do you think she is speaking? Somebody said to husband. Okay, we'll check. Who else do you think she is speaking to?
Readers.
Yeah? Readers. Who are those readers? Who are those readers she is speaking to? Society. Huh?
Women like a narrator.
She is the narrator. There is a narrator. To whom is the narrator speaking to? Other women. Like what kind of women?
We have all
Housewives. Look here. The rhetor, let's not say Anne Fadiman, the rhetor is talking about her sleeping habit. And she talks a lot about her habit that she goes to bed around 9. No. Yes, 9 in the morning. 9 in the morning. She says good night at 9 in the morning or at 3 in the morning. And she sleeps till 4 p.m. She wakes up at 4 p.m. and starts her work. And she goes on working throughout the night. Why does she need to tell all these things about her unusual sleeping habit? What is the symbol or metaphor that she uses to talk about herself? Owl. She calls herself owl. And there is a wood carving of an owl at the head of the bedpost where she sleeps. At the other side of the bed, there is another carving. Lark. Lark. Meadowlark. Meadowlark. And she says that owls have this habit. And then she says that George is the lark and I am the owl. George is the lark and I am the owl. And she begins by saying that George is the lark and I am the owl. And then she goes on saying that I am talking to all the larks in the world. And I am talking on behalf of all the owls in the world. I represent the owls. And I am talking to larks. Who are the larks? Larks are those who have usual sleeping habits. Who sleep at night and work during day, they are lark. And this woman, this rhetor, she is 1 out of 10. She is 1 out of 10. At one point she says that out of 10, 8 people have a normal sleeping habit. They sleep at night, wake up during day. One of them is lark and the other of them is owl. I am the owl and George is lark. And then she goes on telling all the characteristics of the owl people. So don't you think she is responding to all the larks? This is how you understand addressee. She is talking to the larks. She is talking to the normal people who blame her. Oh, you are a deviant. Who is a deviant? Who doesn't follow the norm? Who does not follow the norm? So here, the rhetor is probably blamed that you are not a normal lady because you don't have normal sleeping waking habit. And she is answering to all people who blame her, the owl. So the addressee is the larks. All the larks. All not men. It's not about, the address is not men. It's anybody who has a normal pattern of sleeping. And she might also be talking to other owls. In one place, she uses the word us and we. Have you gone through the essay? You remember? At one place, she uses the word us and we. We owls, she says. And when she says we owls, she sounds like a politician. Politicians have this habit. They create a unity. They always call we the poor, they will say. For example. She creates a bond with all owls. Okay, so we answer the question. You said husband, and I said she is talking to all the larks out there in the world. She might also be talking to some owls, right? Okay.
So they are the addressee, yes, sir?
Addressee.
All the larks out of these.
Addressee. Remember, a piece of rhetoric may have many addressees. The real address is only one, we, today. MA English second semester students at the Central Department of English at Tribhuvan University Kathmandu Nepal are the real addressees, real readers today. Only one. The implied addressee may be many. The intended readers, they may be the husband, because many times he says George. She names her husband. As we said, the implied addresses may be the larks, those people who work during day and sleep at night. And she works at night and sleeps during day. And she says that me and my husband, though we sleep in the same bed, but we live in 2 time zones, like New York and Los Angeles. Because when my husband has morning, I have night. And when I have morning, my husband has night. When do they meet? How do they have children? I don't know. Something funny, right? I was wondering as I was reading this essay at home. But at one point she says, toward the end, she says, it's good that he's lark, I'm owl. Because we also have a meeting point. We also have a meeting point. Even the day and night meet twice a day. At the dawn and at the dusk. In the dusk, the night and day are together. At the dawn, the night and morning are together. Right? Okay, let's ask question. Addressee. We also call auditor, listener, reader. Okay, who is intended audience? We said, we answered. As you note this down, also note these headings. Otherwise, you will go home and you will not know what is this. You will go home, you note these two columns, you don't know the third column, you go home and then you read, and you don't know what is woman, you don't know what is all that. So make sure you relate it, okay? Okay, then we have actual reader, we are, right? Then, okay, what is the ecology? Okay. Yes.
Speaker and implied rhetor same.
Yeah.
So isn't this implied rhetor and speaker the same person?
Implied rhetor, implied speaker, same. Implied rhetor, implied author, same. Implied rhetor, implied writer, same. Author, rhetor, speaker, writer, same.
I asked because we wrote twice there.
Twice you had read,
I may bring a lot of words. See, even if your teacher makes an error or mistake, you should be so smart, you correct it. Right? Am I God? Do you think I'll always say right things? No. So you should be able to filter.
That is not an error, but there might be some intention behind.
Okay, okay, okay. Whatever. I was collecting information for you from different sources. So there may be repetition, okay? Because this information comes from a number of books, not your course book only. So there may be repetition. Okay, now let's go to next question. What is ecology? Now this question is difficult. Let me first erase. Ecology means, suppose we have Anne Fadiman. She is the rhetor, right?
Yes.
Now we have Chang Rae Lee. He is another rhetor, right?
Yes.
Then we have husband, the addressee, right? Addressee, right? Then we have a time when she wrote this, right? Then we have a place where she wrote it, right? Ecology is the interrelationship among the various elements of the rhetorical situation. One writer may be interacting with other writers. She may be interacting with other readers. So the relationship among different rhetors, different audience, and the context as a whole is known as ecology. What is ecology? The interconnection among various species. What is ecology? The relation between tree and human, for example. Ecology means the relationship among all the plants and animals. Right? In rhetoric, ecology means the relationship among the addressee, the speaker, actual speaker, implied speaker, actual addressee, implied addressee, the occasion, the speech, the text, the context, the interrelationship among the various factors which help the publication or writing of this text. That we call ecology. And when I say ecology, what you need to understand that in rhetoric, a text is not alone. In rhetoric, a text is not alone. A writer is not alone. A reader is not alone. The kairos is not alone. The values are not alone. presuppositions are not alone. The context is not alone. All the factors are interrelated. The rhetor affects the listener affects the writer affects the kairos affects the writer. One factor influences another factor. This interconnection is known as ecology. The point to understand is that writing is not done in vacuum. It is done in a context. There is a place of writing. There is a time of writing. There is a topic for writing. There is a subject for writing. There is a writer who writes. There is a reader who reads. There is a publisher who publishes. There is a distributor who distributes. There is technology. There is forum. There is container. All these factors together contribute to the act of writing. Just as in ecology, he is contributing the survival of tiger in some way. The tiger is contributing the survival of mice in some way. Kill a mice, at one point tigers will have problem. Destroy a deer, at one point we will have problem. Because all species are interconnected in the ecosystem. Disturb one, the other is disturbed. In rhetoric also, all the factors are interconnected. They are not in isolation. A writer does not go to moon alone and write your essay there and come back. No. Do you think a writer is isolated, locking herself in the room? No. They are in the same society. Ecology. This is a difficult concept. I hope as you move ahead and show you ecology, you will gradually understand. But this is a difficult concept. I'm sorry I brought it in the very beginning. I should have talked at the end of the class, right? Okay. If you talk, what is the ecology of Fadiman's essay? Okay. This essay is written for all the males. This essay is written to address all the larks. If you read the essay, you see this essay has more than a dozen scholarly references. She refers to historians. She refers to scientists. She refers to journalists. She refers to doctors, engineers, and everything. Why is Fadiman bringing so many scholarly people? Why?
To make it trustworthy.
No. Scholarship. The field of scholarship, if you are aware, has been a domain of the males for a long time. The field of scholarship has been a domain of the males. And if you check all the references she brings, almost every reference is a male reference. And a woman is bringing all the male references. And she's showing, look, I'm not less scholarly than you are. She doesn't say directly, but we understand. When Anne Fadiman brings all the references and all males, she's saying, I'm not less learned than you people. Right? You may disagree with me. If you disagree, say something else. Okay. Now let's talk about occasion. What is the occasion of writing? Coming home again, the night out. What is the occasion? First, understand what we mean by occasion. Something happens and people feel like responding. Something happens and you speak. If nothing happens, then also you speak. You say, What a boring place, nobody speaks. You respond. Human nature is to respond. So when you talk about occasion, ask, when did she write this essay? Which year? Look here. I don't know if your book has the information. She wrote this essay this essay appeared in 1999 with a different name. This essay was first published not as The Night Owl. It was published as Philonoi. And who is a Philonoi? First, this essay was published with the name Philonoi when in 1999, where in the American Scholar magazine. Oh, what was the name of the magazine where it was published?
American Scholar.
So do you think a magazine that has the name American Scholar, it will publish something scholarly? Because the name itself is American Scholar. So those who get a space there, they are scholars. And if you read Anne Fadiman's whole essay, you will be convinced she is a scholar. Why is she a scholar? Because she brings more than 30 scholars. Poets, critics, journalists, psychologists, astrologists, astronomer, astrologers, historian, many, right? Okay, so I was talking about occasion, and I said it was published in 1999 in the magazine American Scholar, and it was later included in her book. What is the book name? At Large and at Small. She published this book, At Large and Small, Familiar Essays. There is a book. I have a copy of it. If you want to read, don't read. You should not read. It will be too much for you, right? There is an essay. So second time it was published in 2007, May 27, 2008. So the occasion is the American Scholar magazine, 1999, volume 68, number 1. That's one occasion when it was published first time. Second occasion, it was published in her book, At Large and at Small, Familiar Essays, when? 2007, May 27, 2008. Now, look this, how I wish we had a better projection, okay? Okay. Attention to personal experience shared in the context of literary and historical comparison. Non-fiction often begins with personal experience. Non-fiction often begins with personal experience. What is the experience with which Fadiman begins her essay? What is the experience with which Fadiman begins her essay?
Sleeping with her husband together.
The experience of sleeping and waking up. Fadiman begins her essay with her experience of sleeping and waking up. So this genre that we call this familiar essay. What is the genre of this essay? The previous essay was memoir. The previous essay by Chang Rae Lee was narrative. Note down. Chang Rae Lee's text was narrative memoir. Fadiman's text is what essay? Familiar essay. Familiar essay discusses a familiar personal experience. It discusses a familiar personal experience in the context of literary and historical comparison. So do you see, Fadiman does a survey about how people used to sleep and wake throughout history. Somewhere she talks about Dickens. She brings the historical information about sleep. She mentions many scientists who have written about sleep. She talks about mind and its mechanism. Oh God. She presents the history of sleep. And she also uses many literary devices to talk about sleeping in a humorous and interesting way. So her style is literary. Her style is literary. Her style is historical comparison. Her style of writing historical comparison. And her topic is familiar experience. Fadiman writes about the familiar experience of sleeping and waking up habit using literary style and historical survey and comparison. Chang Rae Lee talks about his relation with the mother using narrative genre, flashback technique, and memoir in his essay. So we will try to compare both as we move ahead. When we go to third essay, we'll compare 3 essays. When we go to 10th essay, we'll compare 10 essays. Okay? Meanwhile, you can keep me asking questions. Okay? As I move ahead, keep me asking questions. Okay, let's move ahead. So we were talking about occasion. What were we talking about? Occasion. Okay? Okay. Circumstances that call for this speech. What do you think might have made it necessary for her to write? Maybe her husband was blaming her. Darling, you have bad habit. When I go to bed, you are out of bed. When I am outside, you are in the bed. Maybe. We guess. Maybe her family members were having a difficult time. At one point she mentions, at one point she writes that my family members had to make sacrifice because of my habit, because I was writing a book. And throughout the book for 6 months, I woke up at night. And I knew that my family is having trouble. So she writes this essay to them. She is writing this essay to all people who have problem with their sleeping. She might be writing this to all people who have directly, indirectly problem with their sleeping habit. Okay. Now, what is the exigence? E-X-I-G-E-N-C-E. Exigence is a very technical rhetorical term. I will try to make you understand. Okay. Exigence can be the topic which the author wants to discuss. Exigence can be the problem that a writer wants to discuss. So what issue, what problem does Anne Fadiman discuss in this essay? She discusses the problem of abnormal sleeping and waking habit and its effect. She is discussing the problem of abnormal sleeping and waking up habit and its effect. The issue she is discussing is the sleeping and waking up habits that create problem. Right? Okay. Then, presuppositions of the rhetor as well as the reader. Let's read it. What is a presupposition? The belief of the writer. What does Fadiman believe? Fadiman believes that when you sleep is determined by your genes. At one point she says,
That is a presupposition.
belief. At one point she says that I'm like this because my papa was like this, she says. And George is like that because his papa was like that. She's hinting that our habits are genetic. I'm a bit tough because my father is tougher. And people say I'm more demanding, I don't know. People say I'm strict. I'm not strict, but people say, my father was like that. He was a professor, right? Okay. Then, what is presupposition? The way someone thinks. What does Fadiman think? Fadiman thinks that whatever way people live, you should accept them. So she expects her husband to accept the way she is. She wants her husband to accept the way she is. She is not willing to change her habit for the husband. She says, darling, you have to accept me the way I am. So what is the belief? You should accept other people as they are. You should not force them to change the way you want them to be. Then, okay.
So it is the expectation that the rhetor makes.
Presupposition is what things you believe in as a person, your values, what is truth for you, what is right for you, what is wrong for you. As a person, you have a belief system. Your belief system will slightly differ from his belief system. Right? Your life philosophy is your presupposition.
So here, here 2 points. One is genetic relation that determined her sleep, and another she wants her husband to accept how she is.
No. I brought only 2 points, but understand there are 20 points. I gave only 2 examples. My point was, presupposition means your values. What is a value? Value is what you believe is appropriate, okay, right thing, and what is not right. What is right for you, what is not right. For example, for me, coming late in class is wrong. So I was 10 minutes earlier today. For the last 4 classes, I've always come 10 minutes before. Have you observed?
Yes, also.
And I promise I will never be late in your class unless there is an accident. If I am late and I didn't make you call, search for me. Yeah. This is my value. This is my value. Another value. A teacher should be technologically well equipped. I bought this camera spending $1,000. I bought the recording spending $500. I bought the laptop spending $100,000. I carry the heavy bag with all things. Tripod. My value. A teacher should be modern and technologically equipped. Look my dress. Tie, tie-pin, coat, formal. Now my value. A teacher should look nice. A teacher should be formally dressed. A teacher should not be lyangre byangre. Sorry for the Nepali term. That's my value. Have you heard me speaking Nepali in your class?
No.
That's my value. And English teacher should teach in English medium. That's what I believe in. That's my value. What is the value? Value is something in which most of the people, most of the time, believe in. Got it? So read the essay at home and find out what are the things in which Anne Fadiman most of the time believes. For example, Anne Fadiman definitely believes that one should be studious, hardworking, and read and write. At one point, Fadiman says, those who read as children grow adults as writers, she says. She says, when I was a child, I would read till late night. And my mom would come in the room, switch off the light, and tell me, baby, sleep. She will kiss me goodbye, good night. She will go, and when she locked the door, I'll secretly turn on the light. And spend midnight reading. My mama didn't know, or she knew probably. So what is the value? The value is work hard, read. When I read those lines, I was so inspired. Last night, I didn't sleep, spend the night reading the essay. Because Fadiman said, spend the night reading. I said, okay, Dibakar, spend the night reading. That's the value. Values are what you believe in, what you die for. Who is a politician? Last time you said he's a politician. Yes. So he has political values. Yes. He has political values.
He is also.
As a politician, his one value may be changing the society for better. Right? Yes. For example. Otherwise, why will he be a politician? Everybody has values. Even a thief has values. Even a thief has values. So I'll clear what is value? Yes. Something that you believe in to be true or false. Your life philosophy. Your life philosophy. So presuppositions are your values. When Fadiman spends night writing, probably she believes that we should spend nights reading and writing. When Fadiman says, others go to nightclub, from window I can see romantic couples making romance outside. She says, I could go like them, but no, I don't go. I like living in the room and reading. At one point says, my room is like a watertight tank. I seal the world off and read. So isn't she saying somehow that we should read? That's the value she believes in. It's not easy to know the values. You have to be a good reader. You have to infer. You can know values of a writer if you can wisely guess from what they are saying. For example, Chang Rae Lee has the value that we should work for the family and home. Chang Rae Lee has the value that we should take care of elderly people at home. Chang Rae Lee has the value that we should pay good tribute to our mothers when they are no more. Chang Rae Lee has the value that we should respect and uphold our cultural identity. Anne Fadiman has the value that we should be scholars. She has the value that we should read. She has the value that we should write. She has the value that we should study. For example. But she nowhere says these things directly. We infer. What kind of discourse this is? Next question. Discourse. What is the discourse? This is a book. This is a book. And its title is Rhetorical Analysis. So it contains discourse on rhetoric. So discourse is a large body of writing on any topic. A large body of writing on any topic. Our Samvidhan is a legal discourse. Swasthani ko katha is a mythological discourse. What Divakar sir is doing right now is academic discourse. Your essays are fictional discourse or non-fictional discourse. A discourse is a large piece of writing. Okay? Now, there are three kinds of discourses. Judicial, Judical. Judicial, the talk in the courtroom. My lord, my client is innocent. Judicial discourse. How do lawyers speak?
Prosecution.
Bang, my lord. How does the judge rule the court? Order. Judicial discourse. Parliament has judicial discourse. Law houses have judicial discourse. Legal bodies have judicial discourse. Judges have judicial discourse. When you decide whether something is legal or illegal, you are having judicial discourse. The traffic police catches you violating the lane rule and gives you the treat, and you debate, that's a legal judicial discourse. You say, no, I didn't violate. He says, look in the camera. That's a judicial discourse. Right? Now, second is deliberative discourse. Deliberative. Deliberative discourse. Deliberative discourse. Judicial discourse is about the past. He murdered him secretly at night. Nobody could see, he was sleeping. And the police suspected him to be the murderer. And the police arrested him. And now the police is trying to find the links about the murder that happened yesterday at Tinkune. 4 people got killed by one person. Dumb guy. First they thought a drug abuser killed. Then they looked in CCTV camera and they found somebody else running away with a kukri. Then they found a dumb guy from Gattagar somewhere. So in judicial discourse, you go to past. Something happened and you are studying the nature. Why this happened, how this happened. Past. Deliberative discourse is about future. You young people are too much worried about Nepalese situation today. You are worried about your future. You don't know what you will do getting this MA English degree. And you always think, what will happen tomorrow in Nepal? What will happen after 5 years in Nepal? Your parliamentarians think about future. And in the parliament, they discuss plan for Nepal, right? Future roadmap. When you think about future, that's deliberative discourse. Third is epidemic discourse. EPI, DEI, CTIC. Epidemic discourse. In epidemic discourse, you might praise someone. EPIDEICTIC. Epidemic discourse. Chang Rae Lee, in the essay Coming Home Again, praises his mother. Sometimes he also criticizes. Praises his father. Chang Rae Lee praises people in his essay. And sometimes he criticizes. And Chang Rae Lee talks about his present situation, remembering the past of the mother. So when you talk about the present and you praise or criticize, this is epidemic discourse. Now you tell me, Anne Fadiman's Night Owl, does Night Owl talk only about past? Does Night Owl talk only about future? Or does Night Owl praise some people and criticize some people and talk about the present? Have you gone through the essay? You can't answer my question, you haven't read the essay. Anne Fadiman goes to history and presents data about sleeping from history, one. Second, she talks about present people who sleep during day and night. She praises the owls. She also praises the larks. Sometimes she criticizes the larks. Sometimes she praises the owls. She makes praise and criticism in the present. Also talking about the past, but she almost never talks about future. So this is not deliberative discourse. It is predominantly epidemic discourse because Fadiman praises people in her essay. It is also judicial discourse because Fadiman talks about past things also. Mainly it is epidemic. What is epidemic? When you praise people in your writing, when you blame people in your writing, when you criticize people in writing at present, right? Epidemic is when you express an attitude about something. Her topic is sleep, and she expresses an opinion about sleeping during day, and she says there is nothing wrong in sleeping during day. So when I say good night at 6 in the morning, don't be upset because that's my good night time, let me sleep. Her attitude about sleep, her view about sleep, and she criticizes those who blame her for bad habit with lots of examples, right? Look, she says, for in history, night has always been associated with evil things. The Dakinis come at night, the Shakinis come at night, the Bhuts come at night, the Prets come at night, the Chandals come at night, the Dankinis come at night. But fairies also come at night. Angels also come at night. But nobody writes about fairy and angel. Nobody writes about fairies and angels. Everybody writes about Dakini, Sakini, Mandakini, all that. She says that wrongly. She says that wrongly. All negative things have been associated with night. And she proves that you can do wonderfully good things at night. She says you can climb Mount Everest under the full moon at night and enjoy. She describes one excursion to Alps at one point. She says you can write a beautiful essay, The Night Owl at Night. Look how beautiful essay she produced, staying up through night. So don't think nights are bad. So what discourse is this? Anne Fadiman's essay is what type of discourse? Epidemic. Why? Because it praises the owls. Somehow it criticizes the larks, and it presents an attitude about sleeping habit. It's not easy to understand such things, right? It needs effort. Okay. Is your time over? This is republicanism, and I should ask your time, not my time, right? Too much democracy, right? This is anarchy. Where teachers have no control at the university, right? This is anarchy. Okay. I don't know, I speak on camera, such things, and when people listen to me, what they will think, right? But this is bitter reality. Okay? Move ahead. Now ask a question. What is the form and genre of the text? Forum means where is it taking place? Chang Rae Lee's memoir appeared in the New Yorker weekly magazine. Anne Fadiman's essay appeared first in the American Scholar magazine. Second, in her book, At Large and at Small, Familiar Essays. The forum, the place where the writing appeared. What is the genre? Chang Rae Lee's essay is a narrative and memoir that uses flashback technique and which uses pathos mostly, emotional appeal. Anne Fadiman's essay, what appeal does it make? Anne Fadiman's essay, does Anne Fadiman tell a narrative? Not mostly. Can someone tell what is the mode of her writing? Is she describing? Is she narrating? Is she explaining? Is she giving example? Is she telling cause and effect? Is she telling process? Is she giving instruction? Or is she giving definition? Or is she persuading? Or is she arguing?
Arguing and persuading.
Got it. You got it rightly. Anne Fadiman's essay has the genre of argumentative essay. This is an argumentative essay. Chang Rae Lee's essay is narrative. Fadiman's essay is argumentative. Chang Rae Lee's essay heavily relies on emotion. Fadiman's essay uses too much logical appeal. She brings a lot of reasoning. Then she makes too much ethical appeal. And at many places, Chang Rae Lee also makes emotional appeal. You want to go?
No, sir,
Oh, you want to ask a question? Yes.
So what is the difference between persuasive and argumentative?
Oh, okay, I'll answer your question. Okay? She has a question, and I don't know the answer. You give her answer.
What did you ask?
Okay, I'll come with the question. She's asking, Divakar sir, what is the difference between argumentative essays and persuasive essays? Can somebody answer?
I think a persuasive essay uses arguments. I think they overlap in some
Okay, good. One can say they are not different. An argument does 3 things or 4 things. An argument may pick up a problem and recommend a solution. An argument may pick up a controversial topic and take a position. An argument may take a topic and try to persuade you. I might write an essay for Prajita, Rimsa, where I write an essay for Rimsa, where a 10-page essay, where I write the value of attending classes. And after reading my essay, Rimsa quits her job. She says, Divakar sir, I never realized the significance of attending classes. After reading your essay, I am so persuaded, I resigned. And from next week, I'll stay till 2:30. Why only 15? I have persuaded her to quit job and devote time to study. That's persuasion. That's persuasion. Persuasion does 2 things. Persuasion might make you believe something or might make you take an action about something. Your leaders give you a call. And you come down the street with stones. That's persuasion. And you throw stones. You break the railing. Young people. That's persuasion, right? Sorry for this political remark. Sorry. It happens in my class a lot of time. Okay, leave that. Now let's ask question. Fadiman's essay is argumentative, we said. And now let's ask, what appeal does she use? She mostly uses logical appeal. Then very often she creates ethical appeal. And occasionally she also makes emotional appeal. Emotional is weak. Logical, ethical is present throughout the essay. Okay, next question. What is the, yes?
Chang Rae Lee was wholly emotional appeal, yes sir?
Chang Rae Lee is fully emotional, yeah. Slightly ethical in a sense that when you see that he is a very sincere son who loves the mother, you might think that what Chang Rae Lee is saying I should believe. If you believe the speaker, that's ethical appeal. If you believe their reasoning, that's logical appeal. If they touch your heart and your tears come, that's emotional appeal.
Sometimes ethical subjects can also be placed, like Chang Rae Lee has placed, son should take care of his mother, he should. So that also makes point of ethical appeal, doesn't it?
I repeat what he said.
In the Chang Rae Lee's essay, it has been shown that a son should take care of his mother, he should engage in domestic affairs, cooking and like that. So it is some sort of ethical appeal that is.
You're right. When you read that Chang Rae Lee says about mother and relation care,
Yes.
you believe that Chang Rae Lee as a rhetor is saying something good, correct? You believe him, that's ethical appeal. Ethical appeal arises from a person's character. If you believe I'm an honest teacher, you will respect me more. If you know tomorrow I was arrested 3 times on charge of thieving, you won't be in my class. Because even if I have 2 PhDs, I'll lose all ethical appeal. Oh, he is a thief doctor, he will say. Ethic is about character. Ethic is about character. Ethic is about credibility of a person. Ethic is about integrity of my character. Integrity. I never violate moral rule. And you believe, right? If you see me smoking and I teach health subject, I'll have no ethics. I'm a health science teacher. And after class, I drink and smoke. And you find me in the bhatti there. From next day, you won't come to my class because I have no ethical appeal. Right? Okay. So what is the motive or what is motivation? Motive is, look, this student who left earlier, she has a very strong motive for earning. So she is ready to quit class for money. Now, the money motive in her case is stronger than academic motive. Now, this student, if she decides today that today she will stay and quit job for a day and sacrifice salary for the day, then academic motive becomes stronger. Motive is what motivates you to do something. Motive means what factor inspires you to do something or not to do something. Now ask a question. What inspired Chang Rae Lee to write the mother's memoir? Love for his mother. Love for his mother. Now ask a question. What might have inspired Fadiman to write this essay, Night Owl? Probably all the criticism that Fadiman had to face from people around must have motivated her to come up with this defense. This is a defense, you know. Her essay is a defense against the charges that you are not a normal woman. You sleep during day. Even at my home, I chide my children often. Not now, when they were small. My son will go to bed around 6 in the morning. He studied engineering, and these engineers are not good people. Oh God. They sleep all day. When they wake up, they are nocturnal beings. Nocturnal, nishachar. My daughter too is a nishachar. Whole night she will study books and books. And she will go to bed around 6. And if you wake her up by 11, she will scold you. Papa, don't wake me up. Don't you know I went to bed 6? So my daughter is Anne Fadiman. She sleeps during day and wakes up during night. Now, if she reads this essay, she'll be happy. She'll be very happy. And she might bring it to me. Daddy, read here. You will change your attitude about me. After I taught this essay, my attitude towards my children changed. I stopped blaming them because I understood that your sleeping, waking habit is genetic. It is genetic. Okay. So motivation can be the criticism she faced probably. Okay. Another motivation is, motivation also means purpose. So in this essay, Fadiman is trying to argue a case. She is trying to reason a case in favor of the owls. She is arguing a case in favor of the owls. She is supporting the idea of studying, reading, waking up at night and taking rest during day. Can we spend 5 minutes more? You tell me, my time is 2:15 and I'll stop before 2:15 whenever you raise your hand. Okay? Your time is any time you want to leave. Okay, one more point. When you do rhetorical analysis, you ask a question, how is this text situated? What does it mean? Let's ask a question. How is this classroom situated? Question. How is this classroom situated? So I will say, this classroom is situated in South Asia, in the country called Nepal, in the province called Bagmati, in the district called Kathmandu, in the municipality called Kirtipur, at the university called Tribhuvan University, at the department called Central Department of English, on September 26th, Tuesday 2023, around 12:45 to 2:15, in room number 252, in the old building behind the office of the department, towards the northern side of IR department. In the season of winter, during September and October, when days were getting cold, with 20 students and a teacher, in which 2 people could not live till the end, they had a job. Our situation. Situated means where, when, among what. Where, when, among what, in what situation. Now let's apply this to the text. So when you say motivated, what I was saying, I missed a point. What I was explaining?
How is this text situated?
Yes, situated. So I was explaining the word rhetorical situation. So when you say, how is this text situated? You ask a question, who is speaking here? You ask a question, who is listening here? You ask a question, what are they speaking about? You ask a question, on what channel are they speaking? In what medium are they speaking? On what occasion are they speaking? With what values are they speaking? This is rhetorical situation. The speaker, the speech, the addressee, the occasion, the values and presuppositions. Okay. Interactive. Does anywhere Fadiman address readers? In interactive, you ask question, how does the writer address the reader? How does the writer address the reader? Now, episteme, this is important. What is episteme? Episteme means, what is the old knowledge? Old knowledge is owls are bad people. Given knowledge is owls are bad people. They are Dakini, Sakini, Pichasini, she says, right? She brings historical example that in Dickens's time, who went out at night? Who had mental problem? Who could not sleep? She begins by saying that the owls are not good people. And she ends by proving that owls are wonderful people who can create a beautiful essay in a single night. Old knowledge. Those who wake up during sleep are abnormal guys and girls. New knowledge. Those who wake up during night, they are also normal people. Episteme means with what knowledge the writer starts the essay and what new knowledge he creates about the topic. Topic is sleep. What is the topic? Sleep. Old knowledge. Sleeping at night is good. Sleeping during day is bad. This is what people think. What does he prove? Sleeping at night is also good. Sleeping at day is also good. Anything is good if you do good. If you do good. You wake up whole day and where do you pass your time? At the tavern, at the inn. Are you a good fellow? No.
Certainly not.
You wake up throughout night and you create a beautiful essay, The Night Owl. You're a good fellow. So whether you are good or bad depends on what you do, not when you sleep. Okay, embodied. Leave it. Technology. So she wrote, she published in a book. The book was distributed to you. It came to Nepal in the curriculum you read. Technology. What technology is used to bring this text to you? Yeah. Okay, then what choices does Anne Fadiman make now? I'll stop here. In the coming class, I'll spend 30-minute time and I'll take you a quick tour through the 22 paragraphs and I'll quickly show you how she uses language choices to make the rhetoric. Okay?
She didn't present. She should be presenting today.
She will present. What I am doing, I am trying to make it easy for you and I am preparing a template.
Okay, sir.
I'll give you the template next week and you will analyze the essay, fill up the template, submit me before you present and then present.
Sure, sir.
That way your presentation will be systematic. Otherwise, your presentation will be Panditji ko Shraddha. Nobody knows what Panditji says.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Any questions you want to ask me? Any questions? Thank you.